New York City, now the epicenter of the pandemic in the U.S.
Shut down all non-essential businesses. Statewide, people ordered to stay home. More than 80 million are now under a virtual lockdown. Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey, and California also under a stay-at-home order.
Listening is your duty, and staying home is your way to serve.
Starting tonight, New York will be put on pause as a city that never sleeps and the entire state shut down all non-essential businesses. Statewide, people ordered to stay home. Across the country, more than 80 million are now under a virtual lockdown. Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey, and California also under a stay-at-home order, but some young Californians aren't following the rules.
To the extent we feel people remain stubborn over the next few days, we will increase our efforts not only in outreach, encouragement, and to the extent we must on appropriate enforcement.
But help is on the way. Apple CEO Tim Cook tweeting, "We're donating millions of masks for health professionals in the U.S. and Europe." Commercial testing is ramping up too, including a new FDA-approved version that could detect the virus in 45 minutes. And while it's a race among researchers to find a treatment for COVID-19, a vaccine likely won't be ready for at least a year.
Tonight, the battlefield in the war on the coronavirus expanding. New York's Javits Center, the city's convention facility, now being turned into a hospital. Hospital beds and ventilators being delivered, the National Guard on site. The goal here, to house 1,000 patients. Governor Andrew Cuomo ordering all hospitals to increase capacity by 50%. There are more than 20,000 people infected with coronavirus in New York.
This is going to get much worse before it gets better.
The Pentagon also readying 10 field hospitals capable of holding a total of 1,550 beds. At least 2 of them will arrive within 72 hours to Seattle and New York. And the situation in New York worrying other states. The governor of Florida taking a drastic measure, issuing an executive order mandating anyone flying in from New York or New Jersey to do a mandatory self-isolation for 14 days. New York City, now the epicenter of the pandemic in the U.S. Cuomo announcing his state will move forward with trials for a new drug therapy, the same one pushed by President Trump. 10,000 doses of the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine coupled with Zithromax, also known as a Z-Pack. Its effectiveness still unproven.
Hydroxychloroquine and the Z-Pack, I think, is a combination probably is looking very, very good, and it's going to be distributed.
And treating those sick people is leading to a shortage of supplies in some cases. The chief of surgery at Columbia University warning in a memo to staff that the hospital is burning through 40,000 masks every day when on a normal day they use 4,000. Cornelia Griggs is a mother of 2. She's a pediatric surgeon at that same hospital. Governors calling on the federal government to push manufacturers to make needed supplies, something the president said days ago he was prepared to do.
They legally have a tool called the Federal Defense Production Act. Use it.
Across the country, companies big and small doing what they can to help.
These are our medical gowns that we've been making here at Coleman Knitting Mills.
Coleman Knitting Mills in Utah is taking fabric from cheerleading uniforms to make gowns and masks for a nursing home group in Washington state. And testing for coronavirus still a problem in so many parts of the country. In New Jersey, some drivers turned away from a new drive-through testing facility before it even opened this morning. In Miami, long lines at a new testing site at Hard Rock Stadium, where the Miami Dolphins play. There, the National Guard was giving tests to people 65 and older showing symptoms. A growing number of states now ordering residents to stay home. But overnight, the president signaling he's getting impatient, tweeting, "We cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself. At the end of the 15-day period, we will make a decision as to which way we want to go."
We've all seen the pictures online of people who seem to think they're invincible. Well, you're not. Enough is enough. Go home and stay home.
These pictures at a Vancouver beach are said to have made the Prime Minister particularly angry, as these normal signs of spring are a big sign of trouble. people ignoring public health advice.
We need to slow and stop the spread of this virus if we are going to come through this strongly as a country without losing too many of our loved ones. Listening is your duty, and staying home is your way to serve.